Hey everybody! Hey Adon! How are you today? Hello, and I hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Thank you. I feel a lot better. Thank you, thank you. I'm happy to be back, that's for sure. I'm happy to be back. Um, how are you guys? Hi Johnny. How are you? Look at I have way too wow. Ever since I installed the newest version of ZBrush, I forgot to limit how many quick saves I can do. There's a folder somewhere on my hard drive that has gigs upon gigs of quick saves, that's for sure. How is everybody doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna let more people arrive to get settled in. I'm having a technical difficulty here where my music isn't playing for you guys. For some reason. Oh, there it is. Can you guys hear music now? Oh, John, I'm mentally exhausted, but that I'm keeping it positive. Good, good, oh John. Of course, it would be best to not be mentally exhausted in the first place, but um, I know what that's like. That's for sure. I just literally finished my first semester as a professor yesterday. Well, I mean, I guess I still have to do some grading, but like as far as classes, it's finally done. So that was interesting. Fabiano, how are you? Hi, Anna, how are you? I'm good. How are you, Fabiano? So for today, I'm thinking I have two options. I can keep working on this, which is like my weird interpretation of Krampus, or I can do something new, like a new cryptid, maybe like the Mothman. Let's look at that up. I almost feel like there's not a lot of sculpts there without like fur. I've been getting a lot of um, requests for his speed sculpts. I'm just gonna look up a moth. That's so cute though. They're such fuzzies. So I'm gonna let you guys decide. Do we start a new speed sculpt or do we continue on with weirdo Krampus over here? It's very rough. Teresa, hola, hello, how are you? Financial counseling at a hospital plus accounting and billing is wearing me out. Well done, congrats. I hope it was a good one. Do whatever makes you excited. Aw. Let's see. What does make me excited today? I'm thinking so hard and also getting distracted so hard at the same time. CG Psycho! Hi, how are you? Welcome. Long time no see. I'm doing good, doing a lot better. For those of you who don't know, I just came off the COVID train. Um, I had it for 2 weeks and then like 1 week of side effects, and now I'm like entering the second week of side effects, but it's a lot better than the first week of side effects, that's for sure. So while we look for a cryptid to make, I'm going to introduce myself for those of you who have never seen my stream before or anything like that. My name is Ana Carolina Pereira. Um, People call me Anna or Carol. How cute. I am a VR developer making virtual reality games and experiences. I'm a technical artist and I do character arts on the side as freelance or just practice. um, you really know that I really like character art because I've kind of built my whole brand around that, even though like it's the thing I've done the least professionally, but I have done it professionally here and there. So, been working in the industry for about 5 years. I just started a new job as a professor at a college teaching virtual reality development and game development, game arts, things like that. I'm thinking about the chupacabra. Oh, the jackalope would be a really cute one for today. You know, a little bun bun. You know, with some antlers. That could be cute. So for context, I've been making TikTok videos. So I've been making TikTok videos, and they're all been about like creepy sculpts or Pokemon. Sometimes it's so hard to talk because of the COVID. It's all been creepy stuff. So like I did a terror bird that got like 500,000 views for no reason. Like I don't know why. I couldn't explain it. You know, but it's just been like that. So I'm trying to find something a little creepy but maybe fun to do as well. One thing that makes me excited lately, as I'm working on a mod for a favorite video game of mine, making a Diablo 1 Tristan map mod for 7-day stay. That's so cool. You got COVID? I did. Yeah. And I gotta add that it was so easy to catch. Like, it was so easy to catch. I had a mask on, the person had a mask on, like, they were 6 feet away for most of the time, like literally, and I still had it. See a little bunny bun there. It's a good one. Zumba, olá, tudo bem? Pode falar português? Pode, sim. Eu respondo em português. Assim, a maior parte da conversa vai ser em inglês. So you know where you got it, yeah. Today just in English? No, yes. Today is an English stream, but if you want to speak in Portuguese, I'll answer your questions. To me, what is the most iconic cryptid in your opinion? For me, it's the Loch Ness Monster, that's for sure. This is really cool here too. Like I've been looking at these like maps of cryptids. Let's do the chupacabra. That's the other most iconic cryptid for me. But that might be because of where I am from. I'm gonna gather some reference here. I'm going to go for the wolf without fur monster look. With maybe some spikes. That sounds good to me. Alright, let's go ahead and start. Finally, right? So I'm sure you guys are dying of anticipation. Make only Mesh 3D with that sphere right there. I'm gonna turn on symmetry, it's always one of my first things that I do. I'm gonna block out with Snake Hook, and I'm also going to turn making a movie on, record. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because I do like to make, again, I do like to make TikToks, so it's good to have some footage for those, right? No inglês lindo. Sasquatch, Chupacabra, Mothman, Loch Ness Monster. I feel like that's the lyrics of a song, right? Like a rap about oh my god, my hair, look at it. Oh jeez. It's a rap about the cryptids of the world. Hey Quintonius and Scotch Poppy. Hello, how are you guys? So there we have the snout. Good start, good start. So I'm gonna kinda block in some of the bigger shapes here. And by bigger shapes, I just mean like right now it's just the snouts. Gonna open up here the brush brush options. It's good to have those around. Gonna make like a creepy wolf with like slobber maybe. I think that would be fun. And, oh, let's go ahead and select mask lasso for the neck. It's gonna be a neck, I promise. Needs to like shoulders. We're gonna use Dynamesh today. Today feels like a Dynamesh day. For those of you who don't know, like I change techniques basically every other stream, based on, you know, who's in chat, who wants to learn what. But usually I ask what I should do so that I can let you choose. But today feels like a Dynamesh day for me, so I'm gonna override that decision making today. So now I'm using the move brush to kind of do a slightly more refined version of blocking in and stuff here. I'm gonna keep it like a little bit like stylized anatomy today. Namaste! Since I grew up on the Navajo reservation, it would be a skinwalker. You know what? Okay, hear me out. Tell me about this thing that I've been dealing with. Not dealing with, actually, I haven't been dealing with it at all, but I've been thinking about it here and there. So I posted those TikToks, right, of my monsters, and people started requesting skinwalkers and wendigos, right? But then other people on TikTok are like, nope, nope. One, that's you know, Native American culture. Asking for it is disrespectful. So I've just decided to kind of stay out of it for now and like not do those requests, even though I thought they would be cool, because I don't want to be disrespectful. But also, like, I'm not sure, like, is it just TikTok people being TikTok people? Is it actually disrespectful to do those creatures? Because I've seen them be done in games and movies and stuff like that. So like, tell me your opinion from growing up there. Oi, Ana, um trabalho sempre mentira, melhorado. Parabéns, obrigada, Vaticando. Ugh, I just tied my hair into my strap here. Glad to see you back and feeling better. Never mind those people with the imaginary cultural appropriation thing. Difícil colocar gíria brasileira em inglês. É, às vezes sai mal. Eu tento falar umas aqui e eu nunca tipo assim, quê? Como assim? Quem não chora não mama? He who does not cry does not suckle the milk. By the way, we're talking about really fast about trying to put Brazilian sayings into English. And this is one I tell my students all the time. It's this Brazilian, I'm not even sure if it's like fully Brazilian or not, honestly, but it's the translation, I guess. It's like, who doesn't, the person who doesn't cry doesn't get the milk, or something like that. And I think it's meant to be about babies, and like when a baby cries, you know, the parents know it's hungry, so they feed it. So if you don't ask for something or make a noise about it, you'll never get it, because nobody will even know that you need it. So at least that's my interpretation. But saying it in English is a little complicated. So now we're dynameshing real fast so that I can use my tried and proven technique to mess up the inside of a mouth. Just kidding, it works. Just gonna create that cavity. Dynamesh again. You can see how the mouth has kind of lost some volume here. Let's try to fix that. I might have to go back and Dynamesh again. Got some holes. Okay, never mind. We're gonna undo the Dynamesh and then I'm gonna inflate before we Dynamesh. That's way better. How do you change the pointer? That's a GPU bug on Streamlabs. That's actually not how it looks on ZBrush. Everybody asks me every time, and like honestly, I forget it happens until I stream. So I never looked into how to fix that. He looks so cheerful. Let's make him more angry. Grr. Also, who says it's a he, right? Let's make a female chupacabra. There's gotta be both. Unless it's it asexually reproduces, which could be cool too. Bom dia, Ana. Bom dia, Interactive. Bom dia. Matt, when they say squeaky wheel gets the grease, that is the one-to-one. That is the right saying for that. Add in some chupacabra ears here. Gonna be like kind of like a dog's ears, I think, like kind of dangly. Kind of backwards to make it look scarier, I think. I mean, right now it doesn't look like anything, but you know, it'll be scarier in the future. Sure to date the Dynamesh. Making some Damien Standard kind of. Ooh, that's not Damien Standard. I know what Damien Standard is. That's not it. Updating the cavity. Can you guys hear music? Make him zombie. Yeah, I think a little zombie will be happening. Not too much, just tasteful zombie, you know what I mean? Share your Facebook, Instagram. Streamlabs is not great, it's just OBS Studios. You have full control of stream quality and resolution. I like Streamlabs OBS, it makes it so easy to stream. I should though get my links going. Alright, let me put it on Twitch. There are all my links, so many. If you're enjoying the stream so far, make sure to follow me on social media. Join my Discord, which is an awesome place where a bunch of 3D artists all hang out, network, do challenges and things like that together. I stream on my own personal Twitch channel every Sunday. Oh, actually I just took a break because I had COVID, but now I'm back. Every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time. And I do a bunch of other stuff. I've been posting TikToks, I've been doing this and that. Ooh, I can hear myself now. Made it bottom jaw a little strong, in my opinion. I'm gonna use some teeth that I've already made in the past. I have a few options. I'm gonna make him like a little werewolfy, a little bit zombie, just very mangy. I think mangy is really the core feature I think of when I think the chupacabra. Mangy, big teeth. Martin Lita, hi, it's good to see you back. How are you feeling? I'm feeling a lot better. Honestly, like, I still have side effects. One of them being how just difficult it is to do stuff. Like, I'll run out of breath. I have difficulty waking up now, which I didn't do for a long time. You know, like, waking up in the morning is super hard. Sleeping is super hard, too. It's just a weird conglomerate of effects. But I'm just happy to be better. Okay, I'm just gonna move those ears like that. And I mesh that bad boy, or girl. So let's work on the flow of the shapes a little bit more before I move on to the next phase. Gonna change the staining standard to be a little pointier, a little weaker, and a little larger. It's good for making forms. Add a little bump at the top of the head. I think that will really sell the chupacabra to its all, you know, bumpy dog head. I'm joking, by the way. Cara linda como sempre, obrigada. I followed you, but you never replied. Reply to what? I must not have seen it. Luis, hola. I was born into a culture that I didn't pick, and I don't see the attachments. I don't own the culture that I was born within. Like, it's just another reason to be annoying and playing victim other than legitimate logic. I'm guessing you guys are talking about cultural appropriation. I have this this theory about cultural appropriation, which is it really only plays a part if you are afraid of losing control of your culture, and that usually means that you're immersed in somebody else's culture. So, for example, if you as a tourist wears a kimono in Japan, nobody's gonna bat an eye because they're not feeling threatened about losing their culture, right? Because they're in Japan, like they're absolutely immersed in their culture. But if you do it in the United States, where there's a bunch of people who are from Japanese descent who live here, for example, those people don't feel immersed in their culture and don't feel in control of their culture, and they feel like their culture might be taken away, and they already have a relatively low grasp on it, that it becomes threatening. And I'm not saying that as like an insult to anybody, really. Like, I feel that way, you know, as well. But anyway, I'm just kind of using, I'm just trying to create a little bit more volume down here because I thought it looked weird where I cut it off. So I'll just leave it like here for now, and then kind of whittle it down as needed. No, he's just a blob dog. Blob dog. Cessna, thank you. What's this, a were-dog? Chupacabra. And maybe you can do an awesome artwork with the figures. What does that mean, with the figures? I don't know, ZBrush does not have a hair engine, right? ZBrush has a tool called Fiber Mesh that a lot of people use for their hair, which does allow you to create polygon-based hair. So, like, if you were to go in here, like, wavy hair, let's say, you know, it doesn't look amazing right now, but when you mess with the settings and you render it, normally it can look very much like hair. But I don't want that. How do I get rid of it? Stop the preview. Hi Dawn, welcome. Chatty Pat, I'm glad you like it. It's not a bad theory. If you're not in some way detached from your culture, like moving to another country, you want a sense of identity and you don't want that taken away from you. Luiz, recentemente eu fiz um trabalho similar ao seu. Estou de castigo pelo Facebook sem poder acessar a minha própria página. Acho que eles não gostaram do cachorro da Dilma. É título do trabalho. Como que é o trabalho? Imagino que ele seja um pouco problemático. Hi Nightmares. Interactive, can you export as data, Anna? So you have to reuse the 3D software to animate? Do you mean the hair? I think you can only export it as geometry, but I'm not sure. There's a chance. Maybe you can export it as splines or curves, but you'd have to look that up. I don't know the answer. It's happy little chupacabra here. Give me a second while I choose a pair of teeth here. A pair of teeth, that sounds like a pair of teeth. From past sculpts. I've done so many at those points. I don't want to do more teeth tonight. I have crocodile teeth. Monster teeth just generally. What are my best teeth that you could do? Cat teeth. I'm gonna use these. Just feels right to me. Look at this, every single piece. Oh no. Tá bem vira-lata esse cachorro, ele vai ficar ainda mais vira-lata. What software is this? This is ZBrush 2021. You progress in this dog as Sculpt is so fast. About cultural appropriation, I saw an interview where Japanese people were not against. On contrary to like the choice of Scarlett Johansson playing the Major in the Ghost in the Shell movie. I'm just gonna merge everything that looks like tongue or teeth here. Merge down. I wonder if it has with these. Always okay. Merge down, merge down, merge down. Then I'm gonna bring it in here. Pens. And the chosen subtool will appear right here from the other thing. I accidentally have the stick in there too. That's fine. It needs some adjustments, of course. Why is it that mask lasso is not getting selected? Did I just click the wrong thing? Stay tuned to find out more. Okay, these teeth work for me. Maybe I should make them a little wider though. So get rid of the stick coming out of the nose here. I think that would be swell. A different polyframe for this. Splits. The mess parts. I'm just gonna hide the stick for now. Take off polyframe. Alright. I think now we're ready to get serious. Have you done any work to the T-Rex model like texturing since the BDM tips video you did for Pixologic? Great tips and tricks, by the way, really appreciate it. I finished it actually, but I never posted it anywhere because right after that I got COVID and I didn't even have the energy to post it on our station. Literally, it will take it out of you. Any thoughts on sculpting with VR? Do you think you can work on a professional pipeline? I have seen it be used in a professional pipeline, but like honestly, I'm one of those people that's like, even though I'm a VR developer, I kind of think like, why would you want to do that to yourself? Like, it's too much time spent in VR in a single sitting to get anything to look good. I personally don't like spending more than maybe like, you know, an hour a day, even though I do spend more than that because I have to, because I have to test stuff that I'm making. Like, it's too much for your eyes, in my opinion, so I don't like it. But people love it though, like some people live for it. Really happy to see you sculpting again. Hi! Well, like, the music I'm listening to is not copyrighted because if it was, it would get taken down. Okay, I'm gonna up my Dynamesh resolution, then double it. That will allow me to add in more detail, better look. Starting by the nose. I always find the nose is a good warm-up place to begin. So I think I'm gonna do like, you know those kind of like feather spikes that they put on velociraptors sometimes? You know, like, where it's just, it looks like spikes but it's really like quills or something. I think quills is the right actually word for that. I think I'm gonna do that for this. Big old quills. I'm gonna just smooth the top out a little bit because I don't like that big line in the back of the nose. Do you ever start brushing teeth and think for a second, I forgot to turn on symmetry? So I never think that, but whenever I'm putting on eyeliner, and like it's gotta be relatively symmetrical for both eyes, I just wish that I could turn on symmetry and just get it done. Which is funny, because when you think about it, the human body is just so asymmetrical that it would probably make it worse to have symmetry turned on for brushing your teeth and painting your eye. Okay, let's add the eyeball in before I go too far. A lot of people like to do a sphere. I personally like to just do straight up insert mesh on this. Eyes are a little too close together. Gotta give him a less silly look. I mean, right now the look is very silly, but you know, with time we'll give him a less silly look. I'm gonna go ahead and split on my spine so that the eyeballs are separate. I'm gonna actually go ahead and light him up a little bit. Let's go ahead and update so that the eyes. Oh, perspective, never heard nobody. A little bit of perspective and he just like jumps out. Let's go ahead and change the draw. Just widen up the head. So for the eyeballs, I often do, wait, let me first add some space for the eyeballs here. I often do Damien Standard as my main tool. So, oh no, first Damien Standard. So I like to first draw around the eye, and then invert the Damien Standard and start creating the base for the eyelids. I'll fix up the brow bone here that doesn't fit anymore later. So, but keep making sure to paint inwards where the cavity would be. And then reverse, bring it out. A little bit of smooth. Ooh, my smooth is set way too high today. A little bit of an eyelid. Just for now, kind of creating the base. Trying to keep it relatively clean. Invert, invert, invert. So that's all with the Damien Standard. It helped create like kind of a place to even put my eye. So then I go and I look at it from beneath and then I make sure that it's rounded in accordance to the eye. You know, the eyelid actually follows the shape of the eye, so that's important. Make it round, all around. Then what I do is I'm just going to figure out the shape itself now that I have the parts, I can do the shape a little bit better. Now he looks like he's trying to read something from far away. ZBrush is one of the best sculpting tools out there. But the UI, everybody's scared of the UI, but honestly, like, once you realize that most of it you don't need, and you just need like 16 things or whatever, like, it gets a lot easier. And Angela, hi Anna, great to see you. Hope you're recovering fine. Greetings from Mexico, the place where chupacabras was invented. Fun fact, in popular culture, we tend to imagine it as a flying animal. Nice. Some kind of bat or something. I'm thinking it might be fun to play with that kind of wings if you're not creating your own bust. Oh, I totally would, but I don't think I'll have time for anything other than a bust. Gotta keep it simple. Keep it doable, really. It's all about that scope. You know what? 10 out of 10 would adopt. I've been wanting a dog for a long time. And the little nub here needs to get more nubby. More space. More nub space. Chupacabra. I've always pictured the chupacabra as the mangy dog, coyote or something, but that might be because like I was born after they had already been finding those and like thinking that maybe those are the chupacabra, you know, like in in the news. How Sparkles? He's good. He's out of his depression. For those of you who don't know, like, while I was sick, I couldn't play with my cats because cats can get COVID. And so he was depressed. And he would literally just walk into my bedroom, not talk to me, just go into the corner, sleep on a pillow for just the entire day. And we were so concerned about him. We were like, no, little baby. Little baby. Gio Nakfil is a great VR sculptor with lots of tips, workshops, and courses. If anyone is interested in it, try checking him out. Absolutely. Actually, he's wonderful in every medium. So, like, if you ever want to take one of his courses, I highly recommend it. Should he be snarling? I think so. That'll make him spookier, right? He's bringing up the snarls, the snarlers, right here, importance. And creating the actual wrinkles for that is going to make all the difference. And smooth what I already have to create a new base for those. Actually looking at some reference here. Snarl, big snarl, little snarl. I was kind of keeping up until you did the teeth sheets. Oh, the teeth sheet? Aww. Well, keep going. You don't need teeth. You can just close the mouth at the end. And then, boom. And then, or just leave the teeth till after you're done. So do all the head and all that stuff. And then do the teeth later. I'm here for one thing, and one thing only, the Krampus result. Aw, I never finished my Krampus. Você achou que vai ficar melhor primeiro, dia eu chego. Você consegue. Are the ears a separate mesh, or is all part of the same mesh? So, the head, neck, and ears are all the same mesh. The only thing separate are the eyes, teeth, and all the stuff inside the mouth. Interactive. I have the same feeling on it. That's why I smash my mirror every morning. I can't find one thing that's symmetrical. Aww. Honestly, symmetry is overrated. Aw, Bake Snood. That sucks. Sorry about that. Yours wild. Hola, Anna. So glad to catch you live finally. Greetings from Switzerland. Hola. How is Switzerland? Is it cold? I mean, I've been there before. I know it's cold, but is it cold today? Martin, any tips on designing from imagination? I used to struggle it when drawing or sculpting. So, I suppose you first consider, like, you gotta build a solid foundation of understanding appeal, shape, language, anatomy, and a lot of the fundamentals. But that doesn't mean, like, wait until then to design from imagination, of course, right? Then you would do... sorry, trying to get the snarls in. Then, I think sketching, quick sketches are helpful, so that you don't spend all the time making a 3D model that's perfect of a design that you're later not gonna like. So, like, do a lot of prototypes, iterations of sketches and things like that to get the look down that you want. A little bit, man. amazing stuff you got to work. Where I can follow your personal channel if you have one. I do. I stream every Sunday, ZBrush. So I'm gonna post the links in chats, and hopefully it will show up everywhere. I posted it on Twitch. Hopefully it'll get sent to every other platform. Design Cam de Bronze e Doberman Kitchen. The best dog. Gabriel, tudo bem? Carl, thank you. Gosh, I missed so much chats. Depressed cats. My cat was only depressed because I couldn't play with him while I had COVID, but now he's back to normal. Angel, thank you. You're making a dog, Chupacabra. Oh, look, I made it till the end. Yes, I'm making a Chupacabra, which in my inner imagination world is like a mangy dog. Because of, like, you know, that's how they show it in the news. They're like, did they fight a Chupacabra in this northern Brazilian town? Stay tuned! And then it's like a dog that they shot or something, and it's like mangy and it doesn't have hair, and you're just like, oh man, that's totally a dog. I feel bad. I need more reference of snarling. Of course, the first picture when you search for snarling is a Chihuahua. Man, it's hard to find for some reason. Some good snarling ref. Some good wolves snarling. Asymmetrical things are never not overrated. Why do you think we're still watching Chupacabra on this early morning? Oh god, I'm not gonna read the last part if that's... I'm really not feeling these snarls. Not yet, so let's keep working on it. I'm gonna... strike twice. Try again. And the first time doesn't work out. Man, the cultural appropriation chat's still happening. Like, I don't want to read too much through it because even though it's a topic that does interest me, like, you know, it's problematic. I just personally remember this. Those of you who are Brazilian will remember probably. Brazil is like a big melting pot of native culture, European, and African mainly, but also, you know, for example, Brazil. Did you know? Okay, fun fact about Brazil, okay? Did you know that Brazil has more Palestinians than Palestine? Palestine? How do you say that in English? So we have so much cultural influence from like all over the world, and like I like the way Brazil handled it of just mixing and like accepting that mixture and like becoming a brand new thing that's like 100% Brazilian. I know I like it. I wish people were more open to stuff like that. You know, I kind of feel like cultural appropriation is just going to it's an attempt to make things more fair between ethnicities, but it's going to end up perhaps causing more divide. I'm not sure. We'll see. Time will tell. I don't know everything in the world. And I am not the owner of the truth, that's for sure. But that's just what I always am thinking, like. Some forehead wrinkles. At the beginning of 2020, I didn't have any forehead wrinkles, and now I do. This sucks. This year sucks. I just see a smile there. I was right. I remember the fake news on TV and terrible coverages where they even dared show the worst sketches ever about Beats Anatomy. Supposed to cost here, but ended up being hilarious. You know what? I would love... Okay, if somebody asked me today to like, Anna, we are doing a special live coverage on TV about the Chupacabra and we need you to forge a fake Chupacabra, I would do it. Like right then and there. I would be like, yes, leave it to me. I will give you the best damn Chupacabra you've ever seen. It's gonna have pink. It's gonna be pink. Let's make it pink. I'm trying to just create some intensity in the face. I'm taking some time to do that. You'll notice that I'm not going up to a higher resolution yet. It's like, you know, this helps me keep it cleaner. You know, it's not necessary to go to a higher resolution right now for me. Just gonna be sure to get that down here. It's very dog-like. We still gotta break out of the dogness. This playlist has taken a turn, and I don't hate it. How do you guys think? This sounds like off-brand Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. It's like 70% Pirates of the Caribbean, and there's just enough difference to like not get sued by Disney. Ano você é brasileira, so any hairless animal is tempted to Chupacabra on the internet, yes. That's why I always think of mangy being one of the main things. I am from the Brazilian deserts. My family is part of Russian, Portuguese, Brazilian, Indian, and Italian. Nice. That's so cool. What do you know about your Russian heritage? When did they come to Brazil? Of course, the country seems to be Spain, where there are a lot of people living there, and the scans would have to use local materials to adapt to whatever. Brazil is great. Everyone's so happy and friendly there. Maybe it's because I went mainly to regions made for tourists. That does help. The tourist areas are very like showbiz, you know. But honestly, I have come to find that, you know what? There's been a study on this. Okay, let's talk about that for a sec. There's been a study on how a lot of the richest countries in the world, on average, report lower happiness and satisfaction levels than a lot of the poorest countries in the world. So people looked into that, and honestly, I think it has to do. Okay, so I personally think a lot of happiness has to do with expectations, fulfilled or not. And that has to do with gratitude too, of course, right? Like if you can find gratitude in the things you have and whatnot, you're more likely to be happy. But if you don't have any gratitude, and you don't, if you have really high expectations and you're always comparing yourself to others, you're less likely to be happy. And I find that that's like the cornerstone of American psychology, is the American dream. um, from what I've observed, of course, I'm not a psychologist, not even close. But the American dream, you know, like you're always looking at people trying to have what they have and match them. So I found that first thing, the standards for being poor in the United States is like completely different than every other place I've ever been. So like some people will be like, you know, complaining about being so poor, but like they live in a 2-bedroom apartments and they have a PlayStation 5 and all these different things. Whereas like if you're poor in Brazil, you're poor, like really poor. So like all that comparison and that like push for capitalism for always, I guess that like the rat race really doesn't do much for happiness levels. So maybe Brazil isn't happy, but maybe the United States is just a little sad. And other countries like it. Just food for thoughts. Anyway, I'm just kind of refining some shapes. Always make sure when you're doing your sculpts to look at it from a lot of angles, right? This is not like drawing where you just have a singular 2D angle and you're good. You don't have to do anything else. Like for 3D, every time you make a change, you should theoretically like look at it from other angles, you know, see. Because if I make a change here from the front, it might look great, but from the side, it might look like shit. You know, so you gotta make sure to be always checking. I'm gonna do a little increasing here. I always give my dog sculpts way too much eyebrow, in my opinion. Like why do I go for all eyebrow? I don't know. Maybe it's time to make a change. Maybe if I lift the snarl up a little bit more, it'll also look better. Maybe if for one, I shouldn't have it go through the tooth. That's... Okay. Well, good thing you aren't at the time. I actually result in something somewhat believable and scary. Which graphical tablet do you use? I use a Intuos tablet. Medium size. Just a simple one. I like this the best, honestly. Like, I've tried every kind of tablet, and I'm like, give me the cheap stuff. I don't need anything more fancy than that. And I don't like display tablets myself. They're bad for my posture. They can help give me carpal tunnel. Kind of finding areas where I can add a little bit of tension, a little bit increase that spookiness, I suppose. Nobody knows what the chupacabra is, looks like, right? Like, everybody claims something a little different. Pirates of the Caribbean meets fantasy game. I am so behind in chats. Oh my god, you guys are still talking about Pirates of the Caribbean. They escaped from South Russia to Portugal. From Portugal they moved to Brazil. Recife. São Paulo aqui. Será que rola um evento de culturas digitais no ano que vem? Que tipo de evento? Físico, talvez. Interactive Guinea. Ana, have to go. Tem belo dia. Eu posso ajudar no stream 4K. 5 minutos de stream ficar melhor. Pode mandar mensagem sobre isso. Eu aceito. Eu já fiz ela ficar melhor outras vezes, só que sempre a internet fica meio pausando. Dirty Brazilian. I agree, and the trouble I find is that the world seems to push you to compare yourself the most so you can profit off your insecurities. Absolutely, like, you know, I can say this with full certainty because I was a teenage girl once, exposed to teenage girl magazines and ads and stuff, and like, you feel absolutely worthless if you don't match perfectly exactly the standards of beauty and all these other things. You know, so like, imagine the profit there of making people buy and buy and buy and buy and buy and buy. And the press, and always trying to fix something. The truth is, most countries have poor people. It may look cleaner, but things cost more, so the mid-class turns poor too. Also, most things you buy locally cost 3 times more than it would cost buying it from that country. Where did you learn animal anatomy? Did you just Google reference? Honestly, that's how I've learned it this whole time for like the past however many years. Like every time I do a creature, I look up reference for anatomy, and then like slowly, little by little, you start to pick up on it in more detail, and start to build a visual mental library. Some people's visual mental libraries are like astounding. But like, I have reference up here today of wolf snarling, one alien chupacabra. In Latin American countries, people just try to survive and just make ends meet each month. It's just enough to make them happy. I don't doubt that in American culture that's different. It is. Can you tell us how to improve animal anatomy? Yes, of course. CG Art Rock. So, in my opinion, there are many things you can do, and this isn't everything you can do to improve animal anatomy, but first thing you gotta do is practice. You know, but practice mindfully. You can't just, you know, go in and hope for the best every time. You know, you gotta actually learn something every time you practice. So a good way to do that, for example, is to open up reference photos of their muscles, bones, and things like that, and even just straight up photos of the animal itself in Photoshop. That's a great method for learning anatomy, in my opinion. Open it up in Photoshop, and then like take a book or a reference for the muscles and things, and highlight those in the pictures. Find the muscle groups, find the insertion points, find all that where the bones show through muscle groups. If the animal's skinny, like where are the bones showing on the skin, and just draw those over the top of the pictures. And that's like the first step. And then take those pictures and try to sculpt it in ZBrush. Do it fast. Do it a bunch of times. Don't worry about like adding wrinkles and pores and things like that. Don't worry about it. Just think about primary, secondary, and tertiary forms. I'd even argue that primary and secondary are the most important for anatomy. Then, of course, you know, mindful practice and doing it pretty often. Upgrading your observational skills are super important, you know, for being able to observe, reference, and recreate it. You know, that's indispensable. And yeah, I'd say those are 2 really good strategies to get started. On the topic of how the chupacabra looks, I imagine demonic goats, since Spanish means goats. But the thing is that chupacabra for me is like, it sucks the blood of the goats. The goats are the victim, not the animal itself. You know, not the predator. I used to live around the border of Brazil and Paraguay. Oh, nice. Really good job. Can't work and talk. That's impossible to me. Oh, it's impossible to me too. At least it used to be before I did it for 3 years. And now I'm like, I can't work without talking. The hard part is actually working and reading the chats. Like, I gotta stop. I gotta read the chat. I gotta make sure that whatever I'm about to say next from chat is appropriate. I gotta make sure that, you know, nobody's saying something that I can't say out loud. Especially in Pixologic, like, I get inappropriate messages. I have to scan through first to make sure that, you know, there's no problem. It's a lot of work. Very distracting. Makes me work slow, but you know, it's worth it. If I'm ever in a rush, I just don't have to stream. I'm gonna go ahead and make the ice shiny by using toy plastic, which is somewhere in here. It's always impossible to find. Toy plastic will make things shiny, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to M for material, color, fill object, so that should have filled my selected object with that material. So now when I move around, you know, and I change my material back for the skin, the eyes are still shiny. Okay, so that's the bare minimum for that. So I'm going to divide up, and I'm going to kind of sketch in the pupil. I was thinking about something like crazy like this. Let's see how that looks. I should probably have filled the body in with different color. Is that too crazy? Does it look like he's about to eat you if you're like right here? Is it silly? Does it make you want to laugh? Is it gross? Tell me what you think about that decision I just made. And then I made it white, of course. I guess I could paint a little bit here, like just choosing a darker gray. Of course, it's just a sketch. I gotta paint the nub, paint the shoulders a little bit. Ears. Paint the lips. Can you tell me how you have your pen buttons mapped out? I don't. I don't like to use my pen buttons. In fact, I face it away from my fingers so I don't accidentally click them. I have carpal tunnel, so like any extraneous movement with my hand even hurts to think about. I don't like it, so I just use my keyboard. I just wanted to defend the notion why some people in America, especially minorities, feel a need to defend their identity. I think you should be proud of your Native American heritage. There's nothing to hate. Every culture has something to regret. Well said. I'm like, it started off motivational. I'm like, every culture has something to regret, and I'm like, oof. That's true. You're a great artist. Awesome seeing Latin American artists doing so fine out there. P.S. In studio where they assigned me this display tablet, and I'm sure it's fun. But I agree with you. Ended up taking my old Intuos. I've done that too. I've like plugged in my Intuos into like the computer that had like a nice huge Cintiq on it, and everybody was like, "What are you doing? Blasphemy!" When I was a child, I had a repeating nightmare of a creature that keeps speaking from behind the trees. Ooh, what does the creature look like? Have you used... Oh no, I have not. They talk about my 30 tabs. Thank you. Looks like a mixture between a cat and a dog to me, which is a cool idea. Maybe from the front view. I have no idea if you're saying it looks silly from the front view or good from the front view. I can't tell. I regret not eating spicy breakfast. I can't wait for lunch myself. I recently got a display tablet because using a mouse for arting is clumsy, and I have a weird disconnect between hand and eye. Oh yeah, some people have that. I never was able to... So like, I've always been... Okay, so hear me out. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I've always been a little bit skeptical about like hand-eye coordination of tablets. I'm like, it's like a mouse, right? Like, you don't need to look at the mouse to see the mouse cursor. But then I've heard enough people complain about hand-eye coordination with tablets at this point to be like, maybe there's something there, like they can't all be wrong, right? So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Maybe a snake eye vertical pupils? Ooh, I could do vertical pupils. Let's try that. I like to do also horizontal pupils. Those are nice. The eyes make him look like he can be reasoned with. It's because it's like human-like eyes, you know? Add a little bit of depth. Fake depth. A little bit of shadow. Okay. He looks so human now. Like he looks like baby. Too much shadow right there. Okay, I'm gonna choose black, and I'm gonna change the intensity down. And then choose like a light gray and like do some highlights. I mean, it's just a sketch, but you know, it's fun. I love doing eyeballs. Você prefere trabalhar com RGB ou mRGB? É RGB, porque senão sem querer pinto materiais pelo troço todo. It took 5 minutes for my message to reach you. No, actually it doesn't take 5 minutes for your message. Well, technically speaking, it should take about 10 seconds of delay, but since I'm so far behind in chats, and it takes me so long to read through all the comments, yeah, it takes a long time. For something really different, diagonal pupils. Ooh. Trying to picture what that would look like. I settled on a Canvas Studio 22 by Julian as a replacement to the Wacom I was gonna get. Hopefully it at least gets to me by until I can get the computer tablet I really wanted. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Alright, let's go back to sculpting. Yay! Someday a standard in this boy. Okay, let's go up subdivision. Or really, we're not going up subdivision, we're just increasing the Phantom Mesh resolution. That will give us a lot to play with. Oh, by the way, before I go on too deep, here are my links. If you want to follow me on social media, join my Discord, come watch me on Twitch every single Sunday. It's the best way to get a hold of me. I do challenges, games, you know, things like that. On my Discord, we do weekly prompts. We do all sorts of fun stuff. I recommend joining the Discord at least. Maybe stopping by my Twitch stream. It's like this, but I think it's more fun over there because, you know, it's more laid back. It's less official. Just kind of refining the area around the eye. So I do this thing where I take the pinch brush, I look from underneath, and then I create the curvature. Oop, I get too far over here. And I clean up the eyelid, make it thinner. I just think it always makes it look a little better. But of course, I don't like the shape of the eye right now. Wow, this playlist has really taken a turn now. Don't you think? It's like polka now? Would you consider this to be like electro polka or something like that? I have this thing where for me, it's really hard for me to know music genres. Like, literally, music genre. There's only one that I can recognize because it's so different from the others, and it's rap. Like, if somebody's rapping, I obviously know they're rapping because they're not singing. But, like, it's so hard for me to tell between every other genre of music. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of, like, it's some sort of knowledge gap that my brain just has. It's so hard. So, like, my Brazilians will know how ridiculous this is when I say it, but everybody else won't. I can't tell the difference between samba, pagode, and a bunch of other musics like that, and sometimes even frevo. So, like, it's kind of crazy how I can't tell the difference. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, recognize your weaknesses. He looks too friendly. He looks like a Pixar chupacabra. Doesn't he? Or she? Doesn't she look like a Pixar chupacabra? Looks like a Pixar chupacabra who just sucked on a lemon. And it's like, ugh. Se eu trabalhar com RGB, se eu mudar o material, a pintura fica lá assim. A cor em si fica lá. Are you Portuguese? No, I am from Brazil. Speak Portuguese. Angel, I agree. I mean, face and sweet eyes. Who knows? Maybe we just need to buy cookies for the good dog and end a whole Chupacabra story. Don't interrupt anymore. Leave it to it. Oh, don't worry about it. The whole point of streaming is to talk to you guys, right? So if I didn't want to talk, I would just do this alone. make the brow heavier. Beijos do Brasil. Que legal, obrigada, Ana, sem problema. My family is from Portugal. At least lots of it is. I'm gonna just add a little bump here for the fang. I like it when the fang is like causing a little deformation. I like it on sparkles, I like it on all other animals. Amazing work, thank you, Martin. Ooh, Dynasty, thank you for the kitty cat. O chupa-cabra está demais, obrigada. Obrigada, ainda parece um cachorro, só que ele vai parecer mais monstruoso em breve. Okay, let's add the quills just to make it a little bit less dog-like, and then we'll continue from there. How should I do the quills? I think I'm just gonna do a model that I'm gonna just copy around. Maybe I should do fiber mesh. Sculpt will come in the ZBrush community? I think so, but specifically in like the 3D modeling and game development community. Gabrielle, hello, and I'm so glad the streams are back. Hope you got recovered. Thank you, Gabrielle. I feel a lot better. Not 100%, I'm still so tired, but other than that, I feel good. Now, do you do holiday shopping? Like every year my mom is a priority. You know, yes and no, like not a lot, but you know, I have to do what I have to do. And then I do it. Let's see. I'm gonna try fiber mesh first. go to fiber mesh. See what my options are from the basic ones. I just need straight up fibers. It looks surprisingly creepy already. Alright, so let's go modify this bad boy. So I want way less fibers. Length. Let's tone that down. A little thicker, kind of. Then I want to take gravity down. Whoa! Wow, those are curly a little bit. Way less fibers. Okay, so curls, 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 0 twist, 0 revolve rate. I wonder what's making it so curly. I assumed it would have been the twist here, but it's not. Maybe I just chose the wrong base one. Hello. It's more like what I want, slightly. So less length, less fibers, way less length. I'm just trying to like see here, even less gravity. She's using ZBrush. Yes, this is ZBrush for whoever asked. When working on the ears where the mesh is thin, how to avoid affecting the other side of the mesh? There is this thing called back face mask. Right now I can't show you, but it's under auto masking in brush, auto masking, back face mask, and it doesn't let anything affect the back side of your modeling. It's so good, thank you. Tumbleweed cabra. Let's make these thicker. See Sanish say something funny in English. Something funny in English. Gotta make the scale roots a little bit bigger. I just like now just the composition looks a little funny. just gonna leave it like this for now. As part of the sketch. Fix some of the weird ones. I'm also gonna change the color. So I'm gonna choose kind of like a gray color. Color fill object. I'm gonna stop using texture map. Pixological. Actually, I just don't like this one right here. I'm gonna go to visibility, hyper-T. It's being difficult right now. Thank you, Pedro. Alright, let's go back to the sculpting of it all. Is anybody working on anything interesting today? This new ZBrush cursor a little weirdo. No, this is just my OBS just shows the ZBrush cursor like this. Learning ZBrush, is that what you're working on? That's so cool. Okay, Tom's working on a hand. Oh, I love making hands, but like I hate them, but I love them. You know, it's that weird love-hate thing. Mystery, making a likeness project as I watch your stream. Learning some ZBrush. Mystery, you know, my first ever project in ZBrush was sculpting a pretty girl The interesting thing, I did pretty good. I heard it's one of the hardest things to sculpt, which surprised me. You hate it, Tom? You hate making a hand? I mean, here's a pro tip, like just sculpt one finger and then copy and paste it, edit it a little bit, and then Dynamesh it. Makes it easier. I sent you an image of what I'm working on in the Discord general chat, so you can check it out after the stream. Awesome, no, Don. Que top, Yana. Ainda mais legal ver você representando o Brasil. Com certeza, Daniel. Is it possible to share you with my work with ZBrush? Yes, but there's a way. So post it in my Discord channel, so I and all my Discord friends can see it too. All the people on my channel. But let me post a link here. So I don't usually look at links during my stream, but afterwards, if you want to talk to me, show me your work, just join my Discord. It's free. It's an awesome server where all sorts of 3D artists hang out. We talk, we network, we do challenges. You know, there's all sorts of people there, so you feel free to join. How do I get there? Just follow the link that I posted in chat. Unless it's not showing for everybody, which would suck. Let's see. Even though, like, it's the thing I've done at least professionally. Yeah, it's in chat. Now I can hear myself. What's the hardest thing to sculpt according to me specifically? So like everybody's preferences are different, right? When it comes to that. Some of us just perceive shapes differently. Anatomy-wise, I hate making arms. I think it's hard. Some people love making arms and they nail it every time. Yeah. Anatomy-wise, it's arms. Whoopsie. Those eyes throw me off so much. I should just take some time to go fix that in a little bit. Not yet, but in a little bit. Another thing that's pretty hard to make, just generally, not sculpting wise, is hair. Hair takes a lot of work. It's not hard after you get it, but it takes a lot of work. You know, it's very troublesome. Let's see what else. get there? For a while, all of my characters had black gloves, so I could choose doing hands. It's such a Cartoon Network thingy. Currently laying out the town of Tristram, and catacombs below the cathedral is proving to be a pain. Oh goodness, it's a lot. I'm also doing an environment piece on my free time. It's going to be it already is, but it's like a block out. It's a Victorian greenhouse, conservatory / aviary. Okay, it's on Instagram. That is correct. I procrastinate so much about making hands and feet. Are you on ArtStation as well? Yes, the link includes ArtStation. What makes this VR? So, this isn't particularly VR, but I'm a VR developer, so often we talk about VR on these streams. The topic just has to come up. We've talked about it a little bit today. We had to manage this chupacabra because I need somewhere in the origins the cryptid was that a sick jackal or dog. Yes, it's going to be mangy. Cuts off the ArtStation link. Oh, okay. Let me do another version. Oops. I'll post just the Discord and the YouTube. That explains why you guys couldn't find those. There's my YouTube and Discord. What programming software is good for VR? So I use Unreal, but a lot of people use Unity. I think those are the two main, most popular programming, really game development software for VR. Round out this. You know what I like to do? I like to add those little holes for the whiskers. I love doing those. I'm like having to literally hold myself back right now from doing that so soon. I think I need to wait for like a higher subdivision. Let's change the eyes up. They are not spoopy. That's a lot more spoopy. Oh, shit. By the way, if you ever see me looking off to the right and like commenting on my art, it's just that I use my OBS window as like a secondary monitor for ZBrush, so I like to see it in different sizes. It like helps me visualize exactly my art as it is a little bit better. Now that's spoopy. I'd love to know more about VR. What kind of things would you like to know? Like, where do we start? Have you ever tried it? Have you ever tried playing in it? Are you a game developer? Are you thinking about getting into VR developments or just art for VR? Are you using a tablet? Yes, I'm using a Intuos tablet. It's just a kind of a simple one. Yeah, I love Unreal. I love Unreal too. All of my development is done in Unreal. I spend like 8 hours a day in Unreal for the past 5 years. Ever thought about? No. Actually, I don't know. I'll see. You have done optimize for substance paint and textures. What have you done to optimize for substance paint and textures? Interesting questions. Like, I've never like particularly optimized for that, but like, you know, I optimize for games, so I have to retopologize so that, you know, the poly count is lower, and so that the edge flow is good, so that it can deform well when it's animating. Then you have to UV it. Then you have to bake the textures from the high poly to the low poly so that you have normal maps and all that stuff to actually get good textures in Substance Painter. What do you guys think? Pupil or no pupil? Ooh, I kind of like it with. Actually, yeah, I think it's better with, but it's got to be in the right place. Choose like a dusty purple for the tone. At least for the back here. Smartest! As soon as I saw AC, I was like, that sounds like smartest, and then I read the username and I'm like, that's smartest! Hello! It's good to see you too. I'm back. In full force, sort of. In partial force, I'm back. What is my favorite soundtrack or music playlist to listen when sculpting and not streaming? I'm listening to Final Fantasy VII. Okay, so I love the Witcher soundtrack. The Witcher soundtrack is great, amazing, 10 out of 10. So, it's great. I'm loving the look, but will he stay gray? I don't know. I think he's gonna stay gray, but like with like a fleshy tones. You know, like so it looks more like gray skin. You ever seen like a hairless wolf, dog, or bear? Like they're gray, but they got a little bit of fleshiness to it. Your work is amazing. Thank you. Do you find developing for the Oculus to be frustration because of limitation? Actually, no. It depends on which Oculus you're talking about. Right now, I've been doing the Oculus Rift S, and it's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Best headset I've ever developed for, in my opinion. But when I did the Oculus Quest, yes, it was so frustrating. I started developing for the Oculus Quest before the Link cable came out, too. So I used to have to... It was such a pain to get those executables to be able to test stuff into the Oculus in the first place. Like, it was such a huge pain, such a waste of time. So like those are kind of my memories of that. But you know, now the link cable's out, so the situation has changed. But yeah. The Oculus Rift is amazing. I love it. I spent most of my career developing for the Vive and a few others, but the main one that I always developed for was the Vive. paint the inside of the mouth to kind of like match the wrong brush to kind of match the tongue and stuff. So this is a big opportunity. I was talking about back face mask. See if I paint the inside of the cheek here, it paints on the outside too because it's so thin. So I'm going to turn on back face mask and now look, it only affects the inside. Fun fact, back face mask will save lives. That just helps it blend a little bit better. Now we got some like quirky little dance music with like row sounds too. So smart. This playlist has been absolutely wild since I started playing the stream. We went from like fantasy, Pirates of the Caribbean to like house music to like just a bunch of weird stuff. Is that the hairless dog, Angel? That is Witcher's dog pal. And this is the soundtrack of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I've never heard of that. Ooh. Do you see more income from Vive user or Oculus users? It's hard for me to tell because I've never put a game for the public like that to actually see. All of my games have been for specific clients and their platforms, so you know I've always made more money on the Vive, but now it's changing. Like my next project is actually just a phone-based AR, which is gonna be fun if it comes through. Do you see more income from Vive? I already read that. Wireless Quest is Java-based or Link Quest is C++? I don't think it changes based on that. But like whenever you used you had to do wireless, you had to like make a package, side load it into the quest, you know, and then play it from there. Backface mask saves lives and marriages. It can be used as evil Scooby-Doo. All Scooby-Doo. That's so funny. Under auto-masking, thanks so much. It's been giving me a headache for days. Alright. The more you know, right? It's auto-masking. It's... The thing with backface mask I don't like is that it works brush by brush basis, not a global brush setting, right? Okay, so there are ways, I believe my friend told me, that there are ways to change global settings on brushes. I just don't know how. So, if you Google it and find out during the stream, please share with chat how to do it. Trying to make it look more organic, you know, like kind of create some skin flow on the speed sculpt before I put in any more details. I like this pouch here. It's kind of accidental, but I've embraced it since then, and like, I enjoy it. I just embrace some pouches. Pouchage? What would you call like poutage? What would you call poutage? Hopefully at least one person in chat is understanding what I'm talking about. I don't know. Maybe not even I am understanding what the heck I'm talking about at this time. It's like, it's wanting to look a little bit pudgy right there. I like it. Here I want it split. Now I got something that sounds like K-pop to me. How could you show us how to model a cookie in organic shape? Do you mean like cookie in an organic shape? So some other day for sure. I just don't want to interrupt my current sculpt to do that. Although a cookie doesn't sound like it would be super hard, I feel like you could get it done with like a primitive with some noise thrown in and then like some chips. How much time does it take you to completely make a creature from concept in general? Mystery, that's a really hard question to answer because it depends on like 1,000 different variables. Literally. So it depends on like what kind of creature, how complex, how large. A creature that has 5 heads, 30 legs, 10 fingers on each foot, and like things like that is obviously gonna take longer than a creature that has like four legs and 1 head. You know, like it's just not reasonable to put everything in the same category, in my opinion, and make those sorts of estimates. You know, it depends on so much stuff, but usually, yeah, I can't even begin to answer that question. I'm sure some people will be able to answer that question. I just cannot myself. Depends. What is that brush alpha's number using while clay buildup? So I'm using the basic square, which is alpha 28. Samugaron, hello. I love your job. What tip would you give to improve the perception of a reference? To be able to see better shapes, distance, and so on. How do you respond? Perfect question. What you're talking about is observational. What I call observational skill. I believe that's what everybody calls it, but I'm not totally sure. The ability to see something and recreate it as you see it, not as you think you see it, right? So basically, let me go ahead and save. I haven't clicked save, not even once today. Did you hear that? There are a lot of things you can do for observational skill. I'm not going to be able to list all of them, but it's an entire fundamental study of arts for everybody: drawing artists, modeling artists, sculpting artists, digital, traditional, whatever. It's a skill that encompasses it all. Okay, so the way I've practiced it in the past is first life drawing, still life drawing, figure drawing, things like that, like drawing from your life, or drawing from pictures, do both, because it helps develop that sensation of like seeing something and drawing it. But there's more to it. Things that it's a little bit not the right time to get into, but things like looking at negative space. You know, the negative space of an image can tell you a lot about the proportions of an image, and it's a good tool to use to compare the original to your piece. For example, you think about negative space, you think about silhouettes, you think about proportions. Proportions being one of the most important things that comes to observational skills, in my opinion. Being able to measure sizes in relationship to each other. So you know how people always talk about like the size of the head when they're talking about anatomy, and they use the size of the head to compare, like, oh, like the person's arms, like a few heads long, whatever. Like you use an eyeball to measure all the things in the face. So like you need to know how to measure proportion and then put it in your piece. You need to practice a lot. You need to read up on it. And stuff like that. Like it takes time. It takes time for sure. Like I don't know a lot of people that are just born with an amazing observational eye. It takes time. And of course, one of the most important things is to leave your preconceived ideas far away from your piece. It's really easy, like, you're gonna say, like, draw a dog, sculpt a dog. You're like, oh, I know what a dog looks like. Here's, like, a dog, and then here's, like, a sphere with a little doggy nose on it and 2 ears, you know, like, that's what you think a dog looks like. That's not what a dog actually looks like. That's where the connection of, like, knowing to observe comes in. How are you? I love the character. Learning character design is my plans to do creepy horror stuff. Nice, then you're in the right place. That multi-limbed creature description reminded me of a creature from Mode Studios Zygotes. What resources have you used to learn to do VR? Brute force. I learned VR on the job, so like, you know, a lot of it was just straight up experience, I gotta say. Like, is that the best, most efficient way to learn? I don't think so. But it's how I did it. You know, of course, then I've read up on it, watched tutorials, Unreal live streams for YouTube videos, things like that. But, you know, it's been a lot of just trial and error, learning from my seniors, reading. The ear has suffered some trauma from the back. We're just gonna ignore that. So anyway, the creature from my repeating nightmare has a tapir snout on a dog-like face, kangaroo body, pink messy hair. He would peek behind the scenes and get closer on each repeating dream. That's horrible. Also, the pink hair makes it even worse. I don't know, like, it sounds like everything's fine. I'm like, okay, it's a tapir snout, whatever. Nobody, like nobody's scared. And then like the pink hair, I'm like, ugh. Thank you for answering my question. You are a nice artist. I've been following your work for a while and I learned a lot. Thank you. Oh, big follower, you're welcome. Thank you so much for the kind words. That's nice. I meant that you're really good. That's why I learned from you and Michael Pavlovich. Thanks. Never hurts to be put on the same list as Michael Pavlovich, because I have also learned a lot from him. Do you play chess? Not all the time. I have, and I know how. When adding clothes, weapons in ZBrush, do you do that in another mesh, or is that sculpted all with one mesh? Separate meshes. Like, it's easier to work that way, it's cleaner, you know, just separate meshes always. I've done a couple of pre-rendered VR stereo projects. Which one do you think is hardest to develop? Real-time or pre-rendered? Real-time is hardest to develop for. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. For so many reasons. There's more places where it can go wrong. It can glitch. It can be broken. Like there could be bugs that you haven't fully tested out, or that you don't even find until the player finds it. It needs more optimization, more programming, things like that. What happens if I make it more snarly? Does it look more angry if I make it more snarly? Let's find out. And going like left a bit. Do you speak Portuguese? Yes. Do you do programming as well? I do scripting. Like I use visual languages mostly. I do some Python, but honestly, I'm not pro at Python yet. But I will be one day. Liven up this area here a little bit, make it look more stretched. Greetings from Serbia, nice. If you had to take a sculpt bust to full body, would you start from the top or go from there? I personally like to start with the head and then go from there. Já fez retoque apenas com decimation? Sim, mas só para coisas que não vão ser animadas. Got to get to work. Thanks so much for sharing and look forward to learning and sharing with you soon. Wonderful, Sphere. Brasileiro já chega na caixa alta. Gazelle harness will make him look like a fantasy creature, but doesn't fit this project, I suppose. I don't think so. I don't know. My Mexican friends tell me. Do you think Chupacabra should have gazelle horn? Descobri isso a semana maravilhosa. More greetings from Serbia. as it seemed. How was your first day in ZBrush? Intimidating, exciting, or like that John Travolta meme? Both. All three, really. You gave me three options. All three, I was like excited, intimidated, and John Travolta. But the thing is that I started super slow, and like by the so what I did is I learned ZBrush in school first, like just a really basic class. It was like 4 hours long. That was the first class I ever had, and all we did was like start off, make a sphere, take some brushes, and like paint on the sphere, and like we didn't even do anything, I think, from what I remember. But I remember it being so cool that I was like, yeah, I'm switching careers and I'm going into this. So like it was a little bit of everything. It got harder as the more I learned for like a few weeks, and then eventually it got better, way better. I'm just gonna add more tongue here. I should probably move to Topological this. Move to Topological allows you to move one polygroup or one mesh at a time. I don't hate him. Hola, I'm Jose. How are you doing today? That is one angry puppy. I know. He's not angry. He's just hungry. That's what I always say for all of these. I'm like, they're not angry. They're just hungry. Do you think Moxon modeling is gone and ZBrushing is in? Only when it comes to characters. Moxon modeling is still very much alive. Scrunch up his nose and snout, revealing more of his upper gums. It'll make him scarier. I was thinking about that. Thanks, Mystery. A face only a mother could love. And it's me. I'm the mother, and I love it. He's my baby. How would I do? I still have to do a lot with the wrinkles above the nose. I guess we can get into that a little bit. I think I'm almost ready to go up a subdivision too. Now you've got like Vogue music. Which brush can you use to not stretch the teeth when adjusting and moving them? Okay, so what you can do is you can use just the regular move brush or move tool, so that way you can move them without stretching and like scale and stuff. But all other deformation brushes can be used without stretching as long as you're subtle with them, but like everything that you do that's like not subtle at all will stretch. Big tooth. Big tooth. This is how I talk to sparkles. Let's make them asymmetrical too, like mess it up a little bit, you know, like. Something went wrong right here with that one too. You know what? We're gonna fix it. It's a mangy looking boy right there already, and I didn't even add the mange yet. Let's put that one back in there and back in the mouth. Do it. And then it looks like we've lost this big bad boy right here. Switch it back on, make sure to add some gums here back where I lost them. And this teeth's gotta widen out. Yeah. Pixologic, we'll bring just one at a time. Can you believe some people call their creatures assets? They're like your children. Honestly, like, it's best, let me give you advice about your artwork. It's best to not grow attached to your babies, to your work. Like, when you're working about this professionally, like, what you make belongs to the client, and the client's word is like going to break your hearts when they tell you, oh, you know this beautiful model that you made, we hate it and you need to like change all these things, and all of a sudden it's not really yours anymore. So like, you gotta learn to let go, and it's a really smart thing to do so. You can get attached to your own personal projects, you know, but it's just a kind of discipline that's good to have. Told you guys this playlist is cray-cray. It's all over the place. I thought that was my stomach for a second. I'm here like the neighbors doing stuff, like moving furniture or something, and I'm like, man, is that my stomach? I'm so hungry. Well, a very nice model. Do you practice anatomy on 2D digitally or paper? I do like twice a year. You know, I wish I would do more, but I don't right now. I'm spending all my time digitally doing stuff and doing it in 3D too. But I do want to start doing more studies in paper. But in my past too, I have done a lot of studies on paper, like a lot, before I got into ZBrush. Oi Ana, boa tarde. Já experimentou fazer rotopologia no ZBrush com as novas funções do ZModeler? Não. Eu só uso os ZBrush guides mesmo e o ZModeler. Very nice model. We practice. I already read that one. This is JC Slater. Sounds like JC Slater. I don't know. No, it's not. This is all copyright-free music, so it's probably like just pretending to be somebody. And at the truth, just started doing some commission work myself, and I'm learning very quickly that clients' initial ideas are never close to what they really want. Oh my god, yes, that's true. This music makes me want to body slam on the floor, literally. Hit it hard. He has a hyena quality to him. Yay! I've been kind of neglecting the top of the face. I like this song. This music makes sense to body slam. Oh, I already heard that one. Every once in a while, I'll do alone dance parties here at home because, you know, I'm so bored because of the quarantine. Come on, Hannah, get lit. Hit the dance floor. Do you use organic kit bash shots and character creations and method improving speed? So, like, yes and no. I don't have that many pieces, but, like, for example, today I used the inside of the mouth from different mesh. So, yeah. Yo, guys, what's up? What's up with you? Asmash. So, if you plan to add some procedurally generated hair to this skateboard, just keep it with the spikes. Just keep it with the spikes. Maybe some tiny little hairs just here and there to make it look a little off-putting. But I think that would be about it. So I'm gonna go up. I think I'm gonna just divide this time. For me personally, probably give the Chupacabra mange. I am going to. Everybody stop requesting mange. There is an order to things. I can't add the mange before I'm done with the shapes. That would just be messy. Or at least that's my procedure. You know, That looks cool. Thank you, Samuel. Clay buildup is the best brush in this program. You can build a creature with only that brush if you wanted. Yeah, it is my favorite brush. Well, one of my favorite brush. I actually use more than just a clay buildup, but clay buildup was wonderful. After I found it, I never used any other clay brush again. It works with my lifestyle, you know. And then parece meu cachorrinho. I'm in my best. Not easy brain farts. I feel like every brush has something that it shines at. And like if we hate a brush, we probably just didn't find a thing. Like I used to think snake hook was for creating like spikes and stuff, and I never realized it could be used for like a substitute for move for years until I did, and then after I did, it changed my life. Everything changed that day. Looks really good on my stream. Doesn't look so good when I look at it straight on. I wanted to give it some flair, eyebrow flair. You know the kind of flair that I'm talking about. Trying to decide on the gradient on it. I think that's it. Save. Esse material do olho é toy plastic? Sim, toy plastic. Olá, boa tarde, Lucas. I just quit my day job and I'm going full speed ahead to learn ZBrush. Are there any great sites for tutorials or communities you'd recommend? Any advice in general? Yes. 1. Join my Discord. People there do a lot of like one-on-one help time. So I'm gonna post the links in the chat. And also I'm going to take this opportunity to post my social media links in case anybody wants to follow me, join my stream, join my art. 2. Z Classroom is ZBrush's like online little tutorial system for learning how to use ZBrush. I recommend them. They cover a lot of the tools themselves. And then when it comes to learning ZBrush itself, like the skill of sculpting, I recommend Danny Mac's channel, Geo Nakpil. He has paid courses that are amazing. You made eyes too big for Angry Dog, because angry animals have wide and tiny eyes. It's self-protection in fighting moments. Even humans have same behavior. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Moonbeam. Oh, Don, and imagine you had to do the same sculpt with only with subtractive means. Kind of like marble sculpting, just... Alex, good morning. Você é muito boa no que tá fazendo, gostei muito. Obrigada, Daiki. Ooh, Skinny Mustard. Danny Mac, yes, that. Danny Mac does stylized stuff, but he does some really good tutorials on it too, in my opinion. I'm gonna use a mask to kind of highlight and separate the wrinkles here, make them cleaner, make them actually feel physical, you know. I'm taking symmetry off now to help. Sometimes I'll take off the mask to check. I mean, it's very strong right now, but I can always just smooth it too. I like to smooth that. So let's get this one done the same way. I'm making it a little lumpy so that it looks more organic and more monstery, if that makes sense. Maybe some inflate might be the right move here. And then some smooth. It didn't quite catch up here. It's a lot better in my opinion, a lot cleaner for that snarl. Second snarl. It's really important to figure out the flow I want, this exact flow I want. It's okay to have them joining, in my opinion. I'm gonna have this one come here and end. So I'm going to invert that, go ahead and just kind of keep pushing that in. It's a really interesting song. I like this one too. I guess that's the cool thing about Totally Wild playlists is that you hear stuff that you normally wouldn't. I see your TikTok videos are getting hits. I know. I don't know how. It's shocking. Literally shocking. Like, they are hideous, horrible, and people are like into it, I guess. Kind of continuing. It's not. It's a relaxing process, in my opinion. Man, the mask is such an amazing tool, a lot of versatility with it, right? You can do anything with the mask. Do you always work with perspective on? Not always. It depends. Normally, I work with whatever perspective of my reference photographs and or the perspective of my final product. So like if I know it's going to have a certain perspective in the final game, then I'll work with that perspective. At least it'll turn it on sometimes. So if I didn't avoid any nasty surprises in the final product. I'm working in ZBrush right now, and for the love of me, I cannot figure out how to add more polys without rounding the hard surface mesh. Oh, okay, so there are two ways to do that. If you divide here using the common subdivision, so pay attention, I don't know if you are, in geometry, in the division, you turn off smooth modifier, and that should keep it perfect. If you're using dynamic subdivision, where it says smooth subdivision, it's normally set to 2, set that to 0, and it will be fine. So it won't round anything out. much time do I have left? Ooh, it's time to start wrapping up. Maybe I'll add that mange that everybody's been asking about. We've only been able to do the wrinkles on one side, that's fine. You know what, that's fine. We're just gonna call it on that. So let's get some whiskers in and then some mange. So the way I like to do whiskers is like to create the shape of the flow of the whiskers with the Damien Standard first. And then I like to put them in along that line. The line has got to be discreet, but I like having it there. Kind of large. I'm gonna turn on AccuCurve, make it pointier. Sometimes I do them as raised. Sometimes I do, actually I prefer it without AccuCurve. Sometimes I do them indented, it just depends. I think since it's a hairless animal, it makes sense that the hair follicle would be, what do you call it? Convex. Você tem preferências entre mesa digitalizadora ou tablet no display? Sim, eu prefiro mesa digitalizadora. É melhor para minha postura, é melhor em todos os métodos, em todos os jeitos para mim. Tablets com display me deram problema no pulso, no meu carpal e tal. Então eu prefiro a mesinha digitalizadora aqui. Mais barato, mais simples, mais fácil de carregar. I'm going to crop real fast his bust here. I'm going to trim, curve. I believe I have to take off subdivisions for this. I'm just going to freeze them for now. Oof, that turned out funky. Am I gonna crash ZBrush? I think I might have. Was that Portuguese? Yes. Alright, let's do the mange before I call it. I'm gonna make it in a new layer. Mange layer. What would be a good... First of all, I'm gonna Google reference real fast. Mange. For puppies. Okay. For babies. Gonna do a little bit of blob brush. The happy doggo you have there. Was that Portuguese? Thank you, Akash. What kind of income should we expect as an indie VR dev? Oh god, that question. It depends on so much stuff. It depends on how well does your product sell. It depends on where you live. It depends on what you're making. Plus, as an indie developer, like, there is no guaranteed anything, right? Like, you could earn $0, you could earn millions of dollars. It's like business ownership, you know? Okay, mange. I keep doing stuff on the mange layer. Okay, let's make a new layer. I'm gonna use the blob brush think, for mage. Maybe if I use spray. I've never used blob with spray. It does add some nice detailing. Well, first I gotta take the RGB off. Maybe a start. No. Too much, too. Okay, I don't think this is what I want. Maybe just the default brush. Maybe clay with some sort of spray with some sort of alpha on it. Oops. Sometimes it takes me a while to decide what I'm gonna do, obviously, as you can tell. I'm still waiting for Cooking with Anna and ZBrush episode where you model the most delicious looking meals. That is the best Cooking with Anna anybody's ever gonna get, honestly. I'm so hungry after my Christmas style burrito. What's this Christmas style burrito? Let me try the blob brush again. I feel deep in my heart that the blob brush is the right brush for this. I'm gonna turn the layer intensity down. Kind of adding it in places that I feel like accent the flow of the anatomy, or at least doesn't hurt the flow of the anatomy too. And then, of course, after I'm done, I'm going to turn down the layer intensity and see how that looks. It looks good in some places. Let's keep going. I can erase the parts I don't like. I think the separated ones look better. I'm gonna turn off the layer. I'm gonna create a morph target. And then from here I can just take off whatever manginess I don't want by using the morph target brush. Whatever. Oh. I need to actually record the layer. adding more blob. I think it has to be more like separate blobs like this. Add some skin pores. How do we export high body height exports? If you want to export in a high OBJ, just have the high one showing and go export here. This will export an OBJ file. If you want to export in FBX, whoops, my menus went away. You go to Z plugin, FBX export imports, and then you just export from here. All you have to do is be showing the high poly, and it will automatically export the one that's showing. Is this a personal project? It's just a sculpt for the stream and for TikTok. Yeah, so I guess personal, but like more like a sketch. You find it oddly satisfying gifts oddly satisfying? Sometimes. When I got here an hour ago, I thought you were about done. Oh boy, I was wrong. There was so much more detail. Thank you. I'm just gonna add a little bit more color before I go. Paintbrush. I'm gonna choose some little fleshy skin color. I'm gonna do colors spray. Add a layer here. Barely can tell, but I can tell. I'm gonna take some of this gray. Just kind of reinforce the parts I've already painted with this more splotchy color, just to kind of sell it more. It's a good song to end on. I'm gonna turn this layer down just a little bit. yeah, guys, I think that's it for the chupacabra. Ooh. You see Spanish? No, only Portuguese. I didn't read it all down, but I'm gonna say bye and then I'll scroll up. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. It's been 3 hours of stream. I made it. It's the first full-length stream I've done in a while. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to share my links with you all in case you want to follow me on social media. I stream on Twitch every single Sunday on my own personal channel, Anna Carolina Arts, right there. At 5 p.m. Central Time. We do ZBrush, we have a fun time. Then you should join my Discord. The link is right there. You know, this is an awesome community where awesome, positive, like-minded artists all hang out offline. We sometimes do calls together, we do challenges, games, we always do critiques, so if you want your work to be looked at by all sorts of professionals, go on there. It's just a great place for that. Alrighty. Thank you for coming to the stream. All done, I'm glad. Thank you so much for coming. You guys rock. Alright. I will take care of myself. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure to follow. Make sure to follow the Pixologic channel if you haven't yet. You know, a lot of really amazing, talented artists sculpt on here. Alright? And they're very educational. I love watching myself. No, I don't like watching myself. I like watching them myself. Watching myself is like